Hi, I'm Alana Hippensteel from Pharmacy Times. Today, I'm speaking with Guillermo Rodriguez Navarrete, the founder and CEO of Nutriermo, and Elaine Ladd, the Chief Pharmacy Officer of Pharmacy Development Services, or PDS, in advance of the 2021 virtual PDS conference. Elaine and Guillermo are both with me today to discuss one of the upcoming presentations at PDS this year on the growth opportunities in the health and wellness space for pharmacy. Guillermo, why is the health and wellness field an important area for pharmacists to focus on right now?
Well, as Elaine said, we are probably in the most important time in history
Hmm.
to know some nutrition because the data, scientists, and the studies that we have says that in this pandemic, the most important thing is nutrition. So all doctors are telling us that when you have high blood sugar and low vitamin D, then the virus can hit you harder. Then you will have problems. Then you will be hospitalized and have the worst symptoms. So if people with high blood glucose or people with low vitamin D or people that had some kind of malnutrition on their lives, that is an amazing way to prevent them to get to a point that they had to go to a hospital, to a doctor, or something like that. So if your lifestyle is important to prevent the triad that Elaine said, or whatever chronic disease we have right now, now in this time, in this particular time, is than ever before.
Mm.
And the pharmacist has that power. So not listening at that, not getting that responsibility in this moment in time is being irresponsible. So we need to now stand up and say, here we are. And this is what we can do. And this is how we save lives. This is how we do what we are here to do. And that kind of action in this time will be always remembered. And it will be always remembered if we do that. And I always talk about pharmacist and a nutritionist. I'm both. So I'm in both sides. I was a pharmacist and a PharmD before, but then I realized that I couldn't cure some diseases. And it was so frustrating. So after realizing that I just could treat some diseases, I jumped in and figured out which ways we have to reverse the diseases that we used to treat with pills before. And it's an amazing field for any pharmacist to be in. So if you put those two things together in this particular time in history, you can help thousands of people not to die. Not just not to die from chronic diseases, not to die from this strain of the virus and the ones that will come in the future that will come. We know that from the SARS-CoV-1. We know that from the flu, and any respiratory virus have mutations every season. And we need to be aware of it, and we need to be ready for every season right now. These things change the whole world history. And this is the time for the pharmacists to stand up and do what they know
Yeah,
how to do.
absolutely. Yeah, very well said there. Yeah. Um, in terms of kind of meeting this challenge, Elaine, what do you think? What do you foresee some of the challenges pharmacists might face in successfully expanding and embracing this role in the health and wellness space right now?
Yes, when I think about the challenges that they're faced are with, two things come to mind. The first is workflow, and the second is payment. Workflow, pharmacists oftentimes need to be able to leverage software. And guess what? We have lots of software tools to use. And so that's a challenge in itself. And then there's also not just the software, but the workflow tools, scheduling tools. Again, another piece of software. And then the pharmacy team, leveraging their team, because oftentimes pharmacists are guilty of not delegating and they like to do the things themselves.
Mm.
And so when I think about workflow, we need to streamline software, come up with workflow tools, and we need to be able to empower the team around us to help support the initiatives and the health and wellness services that are being offered. From a payment perspective, you know, this is a little complicated, right? Patients are wanting these services to be provided, and they have for the longest time. The longest time, pharmacists have been providing them for free, right? Like, it's just my service, because they're giving. They have the skills, talents to do it, so they have just given it away for free. So it's hard to build a business, right, when you're giving your product or your service away for free. So we need to help them shift the mindset of their patients so that they see the value in paying cash, or having payers recognize them as providers to be reimbursed for those services, those same services that they would otherwise be paying for in a provider's medical office.